The next day, and I usually wake up in some strange place with a kid with an accent playing with my feet.
It sounds like you've been reading about Rajan's ugly watch. What did you say? Not at all. The right name is Rajneesh. Rajneesh. Rajneesh, yes. That's the last name. Rajneesh. Yes. That's fine then. Rajneesh. Like Bhagwan or Bhagwan. Rajneesh. Iswan. The White House is getting a new dog. It has to do with George Bush. What is the name of the president's dog? It's Rexium. I know what I'm up against now. This crowd is mean to us. Most of Johnny Carson's speeches went well. He still hasn't said goodbye to me. He told me to say goodbye, sir. I'm going to say goodbye now. But some of the best parts happened when things went wrong and Johnny had to make up new lines. Sending Robin Leach away. 1, 2. These are by far the funniest shows that Johnny Carson has ever done. Not a good start. Comedic gold is here. It's December 14th, right? Do you understand what that means? It's a Wonderful Life Before Christmas will only be shown 65 more times. Carson's set keeps stuttering on December 14th, 1988. The flow doesn't feel right, and the jokes don't land right away. Yes, I see. You just want to finish this up and go back to the mall, right? Oh, you're in a good mood tonight. Have you been somewhere? You haven't done your shopping yet. Have you ever been to a mall? Outside. Bad. He loses his place in public and falls into self-aware confusion, which turns the flop into the joke. Later, Johnny told his writers, when I just say I'm dying up here is sometimes the funniest thing that can happen. Carson gets a fact check from Doc Severson. You've read about or something. People keep giving this man cars even though he already has 90 Rolls Royces. Good group. When Johnny says something that needs to be quickly fixed, Doc jumps in from the bandstand like a naughty fact checker. You must have read something about the Bangi Rajing. What did you say? Not at all. The right name is Rajneesh. Rajneesh. Yes. The Bwan Raj. That's the last name. Rajneesh. Yes. That's fine then. Rajneesh. Are you Bhagwan or Bhagwan Rajneesh? Iswan. This makes me laugh because Carson acts like he's annoyed, and the two of them argue like old friends on live TV. Carson made fun of Ed McMahon. Doc wasn't able to catch me making a mistake for 30 years. The bid to accuse Biden of fraud. Senator Joseph Biden is a Democrat running for office. See what the trouble he's been having is. He was giving a speech, and it sounds like he used a quote from a British leader. He took parts of his speech and passed them off as his own. The press then came after him, and he was charged with also listening to Bobby Kennedy's talks. Biden tells them not to worry. He gave his staff hope. He stated, "We have nothing to fear but fear itself." Carson makes fun of the Biden plagiarism scandal, which was big news at the time, and presents it as a clean late-night joke instead of a serious attack. The staff is desperately trying to save radar observation planes. Very high-tech tools and equipment. What is it? Early warning from a distance. Early warning from a distance. That doesn't make sense for wake up. In the middle of the joke, he clearly gets lost in the words and starts to rely on help from outside the camera to save the situation. Air defense and radar, as well as radar monitoring. That should say mother. Okay. In any case, they're very thanks, staff. Carson said afterward, asking for help is funnier sometimes than getting the joke. Okay. Bly speaks up during Carson's speech. Here's a short Valentine's Day song. Sir, there's a fly flying around. His speech is becoming less interesting. Carson's Valentine's Day delivery is thrown off when a fly shows up out of the blue, forcing him to act in real time. His short pauses, side comments, and efforts to get back on track make the interruption funnier than the jokes he was planning to tell. That fly got more screen time than some of my guests, Johnny laughed to his staff. The bomb of dead silence. The reporter then asked her what the most important thing that Great Britain had done. She said, deporting Robin Leach. In January 1985, no one laughs at Johnny's joke. And there is that harsh, clear silence in the room that every comedian fears. Sending Robin Leach away. Carson makes the mistake into a show of timing by making the awkwardness the punchline and keeping the silence for a long time. 1, 2. He's calm and doesn't rush to the next joke. He leans into what hurts. People in the room know that he's making the quiet funny. Johnny's face does all the work. It fakes confusion and bruised pride. When someone finally laughs, it hurts more the longer there is quiet. Carson later told his friends that bombing taught him more about being funny than being successful ever did. Carson could not read his own cards. Rodeo Drive is where I went. You've been going in there a lot. What? You've been going in there a lot. That's where I get my jokes. Carson can't read the cue cards during his 1984 monologue, so he has to stop, change topics, and improvise while the problem behind the scenes is fixed. The funny part is how he turns a technical problem into a joke about himself in real time without slowing down the show. The Fred Cordova leave. I know she's going to school for high-tech jobs, so she can always find work. The monologue goes off track, and when producer Fred Cordova leaves in anger, the response backstage becomes part of the comedy. No matter what, I don't think she'll have the best social life. Not a thing for don't hold on a second. Hold on, Freddie. Freddie, come on over. Hold on a second. Please. Welcome. Please. You don't go just because it goes into the dumper. Do you see that? Makes me feel bad. Straight away, he pulled out of the show. I almost said, no, but I changed my mind. I think she'll have a terrible time with her friends. It got hard to date Brooke Shields in college. It will not be simple to fit Brooke Shields and her mother in the VW's back seat. Things are falling apart, and Carson's calm, dry admission of it makes you laugh. Seeing the show's staff lose it also makes you laugh. Johnny stays calm and makes it clear that the producer has given up on the song. People love getting a look behind the scenes at how The Tonight Show works. Carson makes Cordova's leave into a running joke, which makes the joke last longer than the original bomb. He talks about it all through the show, making fun of the loss. Carson and Cordova had a strong bond that could handle being made fun of in public. There isn't enough toilet paper line. Among all the problems we have, gasoline is the worst. Besides food, what else is going away from store shelves? Paper towels. Now you can laugh. Carson makes fun of the fact that there wasn't enough toilet paper in the United States on December 19, 1973. Like any other news gag, he exaggerates the situation, but the joke's ending is based on real worries about toilet paper in the U.S. We need to stop writing on it. What makes it famous is how serious he sounds while talking about something so silly. Knowing the joke helped make people really worry and buy things afterward. The ridiculous idea sounds almost plausible when Johnny says it in a deadpan way. He says that the lack is a national emergency that needs to be talked about seriously. The crowd laughs. Because toilet paper shouldn't be the main story. But I need to warn you that it's very important. I saw an ad where I knew it was going to happen. She comes in with a shopping bag, and the mother tells her, "Forget the coffee. Please give me the bag. I need to tell you." But Carson's joke made people all over the country buy things in a rush the next day. "Forget the coffee," says the mother. "Please give me the bag. I need to tell you something." Toilet paper ran out in stores in ways that didn't exist before the speech. Because The Tonight Show was so popular, a joke that was meant to be funny turned into a true story. Carson later said he felt bad about causing a real shortage by mistake. The event showed how influential late-night TV is on culture. Executives at the network were shocked that a joke in a speech could change how people behave. Johnny learned to be more careful when making jokes about fear or lack of something. The toilet paper bit became famous as an example of something that didn't go as planned. It was looked at by comedy writers as an example of how jokes can get out of hand. People thought the shortage was worse than it really was because Carson spoke in a matter-of-fact way. Too well, the joke created real demand where there seemed to be only a lack. Johnny never did that again, and he always thought about how his writing would affect real people. This event showed how reliable Carson was as a news source. People believed him even when it was clear he was joking, even when he was being funny. The speech is still an interesting example of how the media can affect people. A person in the audience makes me laugh more than Johnny. This year's Christmas gifts. Will Dan Quayle be able to finish licking those letters in time? That's the big question. I'll say thanks for your help. Carson is talking when someone in the crowd cuts him off on December 14th, 1988. The audience is more interested in the unplanned moment than the written material. It's funny to see Carson go from being in charge as a host to being a playful rival, letting the audience's energy drive the bit. Johnny doesn't try to stop it. The fact that he has to deal with chaos is part of the show. The White House is getting a new dog. It has to do with George Bush. What is the name of the president's dog? Oh no, Rexium. I know what I'm up against now. This crowd is mean to us. The timing of the audience members is perfect by accident, making Johnny's jokes fall better. Carson's pride is strong enough that he can let someone else make fun of him. He makes the moment stronger instead of weaker, which shows how good he is at improvising. The exchange turns into a chat instead of a one-way speech. The person in the crowd is played off by Johnny like they're a trained performer. The unpredictability gives the event energy. The writing work didn't match up. After that, Carson told his writers that written comedy isn't always the best kind. The people in the crowd probably had no idea that they were about to make history at tonight's show. Johnny's confidence was clear because he was willing to share the stage. Carson made the interruption a part of the show, while other shows might have stopped it. That moment proved why he was the late-night king. He was unmatched in his ability to change. People in the crowd liked seeing real, unscripted interactions. Johnny showed that he could do well when he wasn't following a script. The section taught people how to deal with unexpected events. Carson was different from other shows because he was used to chaos. He was polite to the person in the crowd instead of being rude. The joke worked because both sides bought into how silly it was. Johnny Carson messed up on Father's Day. Dad's Day is this Sunday,